Canny, a very good afternoon to you. So, quite explosive testimony from Witness E. Earlier, we also heard, of course, from the Acting Deputy Commissioner in KwaZulu-Natal. Just give us a sense and a wrap then of just the pertinent issues that came out of today's testimonies.
Indeed. Good afternoon to you, Nati, and to the viewers at home. We are seeing the Commission traverse through that theme of the political killings task team, but this time it's not so much about the work of the PKTT itself, but the conduct of the Police Minister Senzo Mchunu, who is now on a leave of absence, and it's through the vantage point of Witness E, a partially in-camera witness, and then, of course, Major General Anthony Gopaul, who is that acting Provincial Deputy Commissioner for the KZN province. I think where we can start is in the earlier evidence this morning, which seeks to create a distinction, or rather deal with the theme of alleged political interference. We're seeing an individual being painted, that is the Minister of Police, Senzo Mchunu, being painted as a person who took a particular interest in two of those, I guess, the focal points of the PKTT cases, that is the Mabhida murder, and of course the most prominent of the murders being that of Sindiso Magagqa. Those are both ANC councillors that were murdered in those politically related types of killings that form part of the mandate of the PKTT, and we're seeing through Gopaul's evidence that there was a keen interest in the Mabhida murder, to the extent that the minister allegedly used his influence as the Minister of Police, because there's no capacity upon which a junior officer or someone who is not as senior as Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, that is the Provincial Commissioner, would take a call from anyone else other than the minister and give them direct information regarding a case. It seems that he would go past the ordinary protocol and then seek that information regarding the status of these matters, particularly the Mabhida matter. And he, of course, had quite an interest in the suspects when they are appearing, the status of the matter. And then we're also hearing that in that particular area in which Gopaul is the district commissioner as well, that is the current role that he serves, but of course he has that acting role as well, that there is this MK councillor, I think the name is Dushi Govender, that Mchunu took an interest in, and that he mistook the cases that they investigated about Dushi Govender's sons as something that he could seemingly or allegedly use to nail Dushi Govender. We know that that is a particular individual that just recently, I think it was in April of 2025 or much later, had won that, or rather got a landslide victory in the by-elections in that particular area for the MK province. So you're traversing that theme of the political ambitions, but of course an abuse of power as well. But the most interesting evidence, I think, is coming from this Witness E, that is an in-camera witness who would have worked quite intimately on the murder case of Sindiso Magagqa. He takes us through the alleged plot to, I guess, kill Sindiso Magagqa, and he also implicates crime intelligence officers in that particular plot. Now, it seems that from the evidence, he had furnished every detail to the Police Minister Senzo Mchunu about this alleged plot, and the kind of high-ranking SABC officials that would have assisted allegedly with this plot to successfully ensure that Magagqa was killed. However, from the evidence, what we're hearing is that Mchunu wasn't interested in those fine details, but rather was interested in two political actors, that is the former ANC NEC member Beyicele, and then of course looking at Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo, who is now the crime intelligence head, but at the time he wouldn't have had that role. It seems that Mchunu was very interested in the latter being implicated allegedly in this particular murder. He was looking for information, or at least that is what is inferred by this evidence, is that he was looking for information that would allegedly nail Khumalo in the murder of Sindiso Magagqa. We're also hearing quite disturbing evidence that this particular witness was allegedly being coerced into giving a statement before this Madlanga Commission that would be favorable to the Police Minister Senzo Mchunu, that is in relation to the PKTT, and he was allegedly supposed to give evidence that the PKTT had nothing to do with the breakthrough in the Sindiso Magagqa murder investigation, which we know, we've heard evidence before, that they played a role in and were critical in the breakthrough or success of that particular matter. Of course, this evidence from these two witnesses is not favorable for the Police Minister Senzo Mchunu, not only from the vantage points of an alleged abuse of power and this alleged theme of ambitions, political ambitions, particularly in the setting of the KZN province, but now also paints a picture that he was attempting to get this witness to allegedly give information that would effectively be false in favor of him. Certainly more questions for the Police Minister to answer after these two witnesses have taken the stand under the theme of the PKTT. However, we expect that from tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. that the Commission will move away slightly from this evidence and deal with the KZN Hawks head, Lieutenant General, or rather Major General Sonona, who will deal with that evidence that paints him at the center of this alleged relationship with him and his son and the alleged cartel member that is Vusimuzi Cat Madlala. All that and more at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow morning.
I've no doubt, Canny, that you'll also obviously give us a preview, in the coming hours ahead of that important testimony tomorrow. But thank you so much for that comprehensive update and, of course, a wrap. Canny Maphanga is the senior SABC News reporter. All right.